Добрый день. Под
Good day.
музыки национальной мелодии.
This merry national music, our investment Sabantu could not do without the travel topic, which is very close to everyone here, but also to us as professionals. And today I'm the moderator. I'm Tatiana Karavaeva, the deputy of the foundation, the Center for Strategic Research Foundation. We're going to speak about the practices of implementation of certain instruments and about work of the people who are involved in this activity. Today we have very important, very knowledgeable speakers, and we actually have the format of the round table discussion, which starts from the stage and flows down to the first row. And I will perhaps start with those who are offline with us here. And there are some people who are, some participants online. The Alexei Volkov, he is the president of the National Union of Hospitality Industry, head of the Public and Government Relations Department of Montero Group. Olga Filipenkova, director of the Center for Tourism Development in the Polar-Urals. Ilya Vinogradov is the general director of the Center of Development of the touristic industry, and also Philip Goulet, chairperson of the board of the Republic Union of Tourism Industry, Sergei Aitov, deputy director of Project Office of Territorial Development, Rais Gaitov, Ekaterina Slavogorodskaya, who is the member of the Public Council under the Ministry of Entrepreneurship and Tourism of the Republic of Bashkortostan, Ilya Matveyev, Chief Manager for Analytical Products and Industry Transformation Technologies company, Dmitry Polякov, head of Rostelecom's Department of Sales and Service, and Gusen Aliyev, and Elena Labanova is with us today. I believe that the speakers will share their practices and experience, which are very important for the Republic, which has gathered us here. And I do not want to waste a lot of time, and I would like to speak, to start about the instruments, with the instruments of mega touristic projects. Know that for implementation of this large-scale project, we're speaking about the locations like Altai, the Lake of Baikal, the Caucasus. We have special economic zones. Today we have 10 special economic zones here in Russia, and we have around 100 residents in these zones, which already are implemented. And I would like to invite Mikhail Labutin online with us, who is the director of this Department of Special Economic Zones. And Mikhail Alexandrovich, hello. I hope that you can see us as well. We're happy to see you. Good day, Tatiana. Dear participants of the forum, dear participants of this session today, hello. I'm happy to greet you. Unfortunately, I could not come in person, but I don't believe that it will influence to the quality of our discussion. Thank you for the floor. This is a very topical issue today, and Perhaps I will ask the organizers to put on the slides for us to be able to not only hear but also see what I want to share with you.
Следующий слайд.
The next slide, please.
Да, уважаемые коллеги,
Dear colleagues, well, it's not a secret that in the last years, the demand for internal travel has increased, and only in 2023 we can see huge growth of internal traveling, and unfortunately the infrastructure
не готовы. В первую очередь,
is not prepared for getting our servicing our travelers, tourists. It's the hotel numbers, rooms, the social and transport infrastructure on the touristic sites and places. And as soon as we are speaking about the special economic zones, this is the opportunity for regions and for business to use this instrument for correction for collection of those investments which can be used for the development of travel industry in the subjects of Russian Federation. If you pay attention, today we have 10 special economic zones of touristic and recreational type. And please see the Northern Caucasus, everything's great. The main cluster of special touristic zones is there. It's historically, the Northern Caucasus is touristically developed region. And why do we forget about other subjects of the Russian Federation, where we also have a lot of beautiful sites which are attracting tourists, and people are going and want to see them. And the projects we are going to discuss today, when we implement these mega investments projects, we have to take into account all the drawbacks and also how we shall avoid them. And for business and for the region, I will remind that in the first place, this is the investment mode. The region, when applying to the Ministry of the Russian Federation, they have to provide on their application the already confirmed investments and the preferences and prove that these preferences will help the development, which is the zero tax for property, zero tax for 5 or 10 years instead of 1.5 or 15%. And all the sites which are there, which can be the attraction points for placement of special economic zones around. And certainly in the national, reserves, nobody allows us to build some hotels and so on. But nevertheless, there are places which are very close to these reserves, national reserves, natural reserves, and which can be a very good areas for creation of these zones. And perhaps now I'm addressing the business people who are here in this room. We have to understand in the first place who is the resident of a special economic zone. If I plan to invest into such a zone, in the first place, I have to correspond to a certain list of requirements. In the first place, this legal entity should be registered in the municipality where he is planning to invest. What kind of activity? Which is the construction of objects, which is ski resorts, ski mount, different sanatoriums and medical care resorts, which can be used since the Soviet years. Maybe old sanatorium can be reconstructed and used today, which also the development of the mineral waters and mineral resources for food, healthcare, etc. This should be a company or an individual entrepreneur. They have to take also the contact with the bodies. Michael, may we not go into much detail? We have a special federal law, and certainly from you, with your experience, we need to get the understanding. What are the perspectives for the development of travel areas, how they can be scaled in this country, and the advantages apart from the taxes, some tax benefits, in setting up the infrastructural objects, promotion of touristic trend, etc., etc. We have very short time, unfortunately. Well, in the first place, now I'm talking to business here, and business always votes with a ruble. We can speak about all sorts of brands, etc., etc., and people will leave not satisfied. Dear colleagues, I want once again emphasize that in this case, these special economic zones can be a very good opportunity for you for implementation of your projects. On the next slide, you can get this presentation later, and here you can see the order from the beginning of analyzing the travel flows, the touristic flows. Everything is written here by stages, which you can follow and implement your project in the framework of this investment zone. Dear colleagues, I would also like to mention that there are some measures for supporting the development of HoReCa, hotel complexes. There is a law. You have an opportunity to implement the projects of the hotel complexes, and there are the preferences here. You can see 7.8% of annually reduction of the percent of the interest rate. And I would like to also mention that what Tatiana has mentioned today, it's important from the point of view of development of touristic area, not individual development, and when the economic zone is implemented, it's a complex of measures, of services, which you will provide on the territory of this agglomeration to your consumers. And these should be the services, which will cover all the needs of these touristic flows. If we take a large shopping mall, there's never close to them two small sellers of boots, for instance, because this huge shopping mall develops the assortment of the products where people come and buy everything in one place, in the shopping mall. So here we need to provide for the complex of infrastructure, of services, where the people will come and feel comfortable. They understand why they spend this money and what for they pay. And today I can see that there are a lot of speakers, and I thank you for your attention and invite you to the second International Forum of Special Economic Zones, which, together with the Ministry of Economic Development, we are going to held in September of this year. It's going to be held in Dubna, in the Moscow region, and the topic of these economic zones of recreational type will be also addressed there. And today we do not have enough time to discuss every detail. Then on that forum, we will for sure discuss in the framework of that forum, we will discuss and solve all the existing problems so that we extend the number of zones up to 100 in the nearest future. I will also confirm that we are going to have a special track in this forum on economical zones, and I invite everyone to Dubna. Today, you have already mentioned that this is one of the largest touristic projects, economic projects. Today, the Caucasus tourist cluster is one of the most important, and this was the initial project for the LOR number 116. And today I will ask Alexei to tell us about Arkhis, because some of you have already acquainted with this project or witnessed it, watched it from the very start. Thank you very much. Hello, I'm happy to see everyone. If we are speaking about mega projects, then Sibay has become this type of project. The level of expertise collected here is very, very important. And the law of 2005 was put in, actually started operating only in 2017. And today we can speak about implemented projects. The majority of them have not become mega projects. Today I'm going to speak about Mantera project. The group of companies Mantera exactly 1 year ago acquired Arkhis resort, and we have also Krasnaya Polyana resort, and we use these practices which we try to implement in the special economic zones. We have received very high benefits related to taxation and to provision of land plots, and also for credits. If we are speaking about our company, we annually receive 4.8 million people a year. And we have also, if we are speaking about the development of summer services, in this season, we have started to work on this only this year. We are going to have built extreme parks, also catering, etc., because it's not what we have today is not sufficient. We are also creating integrated resorts, and our approach is that we also have casino and wine and terminal. We have mountain resorts and entertainment areas, and we wanted to turn these resort territories not as the big territory of entertainment. And it's important for us to have this for different target audiences, so that people could come with their families there. For instance, Arkhis is the resort for families. And there are some comfortable down paths, and our task today is to attract residents for provision of round-the-year services on this resort. If we are speaking about recreation zones, it's important to say that today we are a cluster, and we are setting the trends today, especially in mountain skiing industry. And if we're coming back to the Republic of Bashkortostan, it's important to mention here that there is the governmental management of resorts, and it makes sense to create a cluster here as a special economic zone. And now we have sent an application to the government of the Russian Federation so that we could get some benefits here, because we're speaking about the internal tourism. We cannot compete with other industries. We have a very low payoff payability of HoReCa. We miss people working in our fields, and the production is going to be integrated nowadays with robots. But we are the industry which provides human services. And coming back to investors, as an investor coming to the territory, we involve the residents to various tasks, implementation, and we also provide investment conditions and modes, and provide all the necessary conditions which help to implement the projects within short time. And here the mode of preferences attracts quite a big number of residents. And I especially want to say that we have another prospects of development of Laganaki Resort. There is the National Reserve close to it, and we have to do it utmostly carefully related the environment, and we have also to build the analog to the three French valleys, resort valleys, and there in Laganaki, three valleys in Russia, which will have over 550 kilometers of ski tracks, and it's a very promising project. Thank you very much.
So thank you for your presentation. But I think we have such a disbalance here in the arrangement of this session. At first, we wanted to have a target-wise discussion in the topics, and then we will talk about the ski resorts and mega projects. And yes, we have the mechanism of touristic recreational zones. We have beneficial conditions. It is all great, but also we need to apply for the Ministry of Economic Development. So we do a step back. Not all the entrepreneurs use this mode, and we have to promote it further. So I give the floor to Olga to talk about large integrated resorts. What are they? So good afternoon. Can you please turn on my presentation? Today we're talking about investment. It is all important topics. We need to know which measures can be taken in order to launch such projects. But when we start these projects, we need to identify the mode of management for such projects. So I would like to add that over the recent 10 years, our relevant experience is Sochi and Rosa Hutor, Krasnaya Polana resort. After the Olympic Games, there were no one tourist. And nowadays, such resorts are overcrowded. So over the last 10 years, it's my work over the last 10 years. So I will talk about one case in one example. Actually, the topic of integrated resort is popular overseas, but if we talk about Asia, about mountains and other attraction points, as for us, integrated resorts, we have to talk about effective investments. So, from the beginning, for example, if we talk about Krasная Поляна Resort, in 2019, our task was to rearrange the resort in terms of management system when we had a new owner. So when the owner realized that the object was acquired, but something is wrong, we are not reach the targeted indicators, and we have to rearrange something, because it is very important to organize a proper management and to use these territories that we already have. So we decided to create a diagram of integrated tourist 6 directions: complex development, digital service, which is a very pressing problem nowadays. So space, aesthetic of space, when it comes to architecture, ecological responsibility, because this has to be taken into consideration when we plan the tourist. The economy of impressions, because when we only think about infrastructure without thinking what is the goal of tourists when they come here. And if we talk about ski industry, so people look for not only just skiing, but also for impressions, and 60% of tourists, they go to mountains and other attractions, and only 40% go for skiing and consuming other services. And the 6th one is human resources, because we have lack of human resources in tourism industry. So to sum up these 6 aspects, we managed to change the resorts, to change the results in terms of profits, number of visitors. So we come to a conclusion that we have to properly manage the tools that we already have. So when we talk about ski resorts, it's like a mountain resort, so the work is year-round active. So nowadays, there is not one resort that is working only for 4 months. All of us work all year round. So you can see some numbers concerning the project that I was running last year. And nowadays we have another interesting case for your reference, and we will process it in terms of numbers. This project is Yamal.
Горнолыжка на первый взгляд.
So there are a ski resort.
Сердцем России.
The region is called a gas heart of Russia, because 80% of gas is produced in that region. So tourism is a brand new direction for this region.
Скромные.
And it's only starting to develop. So our task is to build ski resort infrastructure, ski resort when the temperature in winter is minus 20 to 30 degrees. It's cold there all the time, so it's a serious challenge for the region, for the company, for the management, for the team. So this is the first resort in Russia that will be built So it will be built on the conditions when the government of the regions
Реализация этого
is
соглашения
guaranteeing this project. We signed a 30 years contract, and we're planning to open this resort in winter 2027.
уникальных кейсов для
So it will be a unique case for our country and maybe in the whole world, because there were no cases of launching a resort in such harsh conditions.
буду заканчивать, потому что
So I think I will be through because I don't have much time. Yes, I'm sure that I think our visitors will want to talk to you after the session, and I think it will be possible. So the substantial territories of Russia are in the Arctics, but we want to go to holidays, to warm places.
Нужно
So the more we work, the more we need to get a proper rest. And I hope to hear from you about the places where we can go to have a vacation. So the floor is yours. Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to greet you all here. My name is Ilya Vinogradov, and I am the head of the Center of Developing Ski Resort, and I'm the founder of the ecosystem in Russia. Yes, of course, we all want to go to south, but we all are fond of mountains because only mountains are better than mountains. So I think I have a question for you. How do you think? What is the number of ski resorts in Russia? Any figure?
С развитием. Это, кстати, первый раз, когда
So this is the first time when you guess the right number. In Russia, we have 400 ski resorts.
больше 20 миллионов катающихся.
Over 20 millions of people that come to ski resorts. Almost 5 million people with snowboards and who are engaged in snowboards and ski sports.
Если смотреть по федеральным округам,
In terms of
наиболее высокая концентрация
federal level, the highest concentration of ski resorts is Siberia, about 73 ski resorts in Privolzhsky region, 65,
на южном и
and in southern and northern Caucasus, about 15 ski resorts in total. Another question:
Башкирии, как вы думаете,
what is the number of ski resorts, ski facilities, ski schools in our republic, in the Republic of Bashkortostan? The answer is 24, and the total length
60 километров?
is 60 kilometers. It is a good result, and we have all the drivers, all the catalysts for developing the ski industry in our republic. The ski industry is developing, is growing, and aside from existing resorts, which account for more than 350 ones. Last year we opened 6 new resorts, and
17 открытий еще.
in 3 years we are planning to open 17 more, and the total tourist floor has grown in this season by 15%, and the total number of visitors is 23 million in 60 ski resorts. And the top 3 regions in terms of the largest tourist flow, so
Более 5 миллионов туристов.
is southern and Siberia federal regions. So we
И нам
pay attention both to small
в своем регионе
small resorts because there is a tendency for people to to go to local places. And it is not fair that small resorts are in the shadows because they are shy, they are humble, but they have to understand that they are also a part of a large system because they help to grow new generations of skiers that will eventually come to larger places. So in April of this year, we started receiving the applications for the national project of Russia. And it's another tool to implement your projects in your regions. So in the first seasons, we had 100,000 votes in public survey. And last year, that number was twice as much. And our total... So what is the national award? So it is a large program for the ecosystems of Russia. It is more than just an award. It is the union of an independent industry inside the tourism industry. So since 2023, we received the support of the ministry. And when we hold this award, we identify the main results in this industry. And the main tool for promoting ski industry is a platform which unites all the infrastructure, all the ski resorts, all the information concerning them. And each ski resort have their own profile, and they upload all the information there in order to promote and attract more people. So it also includes business events and calendar of events. So every visitor of a resort can choose the appropriate dates and choose the event that they want to attend, because we know that there are three main attractions: what to do, where to live, and how to reach the place. And the first question is what to do. So, in conclusion, so is it possible to cause a great change in the activity of small resorts? Yes, it is possible. Even if a ski resort have 50 or 100 visitors a year, so those places are still developing, and they have all the drivers. They have jobs, they have tax income, and improving the quality of life, and they are object of leisure and place for rest of the population. So if we're looking to twice the number of the visitors, so this indicator is connected to our goal to look into domestic resorts. So when people get acquainted with ski sports, when we teach our children, introduce our children to this sport, it is convenient for us to be near home. And in conclusion, I would like you to see a short video, just 50 seconds. It's about the award that will take place this year.
Это Оскар горнолыжной индустрии.
This is the skiing industry Oscar. Well, we already have someone to be proud of, including also mountain skiing. I promised you the roundtable discussion, and I invite to the discussion our respected speakers sitting on the first row. And I believe the second part of our discussion is going to be not less interesting. Well, just take a risk, get involved.
Приветствую вас на этом площадке. Я очень рад, что вы к нам приехали. Очень приятно, очень много интересного слышим. Потом просто хотим пообщаться и.
Well, I'm just on my own behalf want to say that it's interesting. It's interesting to talk, and I would like to get your practices and let's discuss first further. Okay, we have already discussed it. Today, let us, Philippe Goulet will tell us about the drivers. I wanted to offer you such a format. If you feel convenient, you just go to the moderator's chair and dear colleagues, it's not so much time. I am from Belarus, where there are no mountains, but there are official mountain skiing resorts. They have 2 of them, and this year we have entered the Eurasian Alliance, and I believe that it makes sense to discuss this. Although we have 2 small mountain skiing resorts, and in fact, they are close to the capital of Belarus, which supplies people there. But it was mentioned correctly that after the skiing period, there is a non-season period, and tourism is an interregional and international thing. And the clearer rules we have, legislation, the more clear certification system is, the easier it will become for investors and all the investors in Kazakhstan, in Belarus, in Russia will understand what they are supposed to do and how to work. Certainly, we also, as foreigners today, we travel to Krasnaya Polyana and certainly bring our money there. And don't forget about it. We need to go somewhere. We need to ski somewhere. And we have this culture. Unfortunately, our travel operators won't help you here. These are already clubs and communities of skiers, mountain skiing skiers. It's 100,000 people. We please get these people, attract them, and use. The horse routes, the other travel routes need staff and investments, and ranging of investment. It's clear that we need the investment resource. Then we start building, etc., etc. I would like to start with the alliance which had been created, where apart from Belarus colleagues, there are already people from Uzbekistan, Amirsoy, Uzbekistan, Karagay has already joined our alliance. This alliance, this union, has unified approaches to investments, to construction, to services, and their own approaches to the setting up of normative and legal base, professionalism, travel flows. They understand what it means, and they are the first ones to find the ways to solve their tasks and problems. And the validation, the consultations, the competences for the government are important for the government to understand how to develop the active tourism. And the rule of setting up of development of ski resorts and the applying territories is very important as a start. And we would like to speak about the centers of and drivers of competences are these skiing resorts, which have the main bases, the staff, personnel, and money. I have told you about the some additional thing which I'm interested in, but Belarus is the country which is willing to develop the travel industry, but unfortunately at this moment it's only in the conscience of our government. Not everyone still understands that it's one of the drivers of economy, and subsidies and all kind of development programs for investment for the investors are not yet there. Before pandemic, well, our applications were not heard, and now it became rather interesting. And how to attract subsidies? It's some kind of tax which would be paid by the cities, but this money, one of the examples, when the regulator ranges the territories by the coefficient, and they say, well, here your coefficient is 1, somewhere it's less, somewhere it's more, then the investors get this money and have the right to pay these trips to their employees. If you go somewhere, if you go to a famous resort, you are paid only 20%. If you go to some unknown place, you can be reimbursed up to 90%. So the employees go by low price, and suddenly the Republican tax budget suffers. But nevertheless, is it clear what I'm telling you? So it's the subsidies provided by the government, by the municipalities to the employers. If the places develop well, then they get more and more users. They get more and more travelers. The international traveling from United States to Japan was very, very developed before some time before pandemic, and now this internal tourism is not yet a solution. It's an idea. Sometimes there is a calculation in the basis, but nevertheless, it may be quite interesting for some of you. And I would like to come to the very beginning. The ski resorts, well, they represent the concentration of specialists which can improve and develop the legislative basis and develop the rules not for only skiing resorts, but for other places as well. Thank you. I believe we need to applaud, and I would like to say, well, our brothers from Belarus, well, you're always, when it doesn't matter what we're speaking about, you say, well, we do not yet have these mechanisms as you in Russia. Well, we still don't have it, etc., etc. But in fact, you have already Russian travelers, you have Russian tourists, and it's a big growth of travelers. And we are going to develop both of us, reciprocally, we are going to develop our resorts. Come to us as well. And in the end of the presentation, and I will tell you a kind of a scheme. So it's very typical for us sharing our practices. And Sergey, perhaps we will now come to you, to the Republic. What, in your opinion, is interesting? What are the prospects for you, for Bashkortostan? I would like to say thank you for the topic selected for this discussion, that you have decided to selected these special economic zones as a topic of this meeting, where the people who know this very well can share with us their information. I would like to speak about the experience of Republic of Bashkortostan. I would like to say that here we have already an experience in creating of touristic clusters. The territories are there where there are mountains, the skiing complexes, 3 of the most popular complexes, Abzakova, Banne, Imratkina, resorts. They have created the cluster of the mountain resorts of Bashkortostan, and there are some transport solutions which allow to solve this problem of logistics. And we also have selected Bryansk, the Shungantash cave. It's a very interesting territory, and also mountain skiing resort can be built there. We decided to unify these 3 areas and to make them not only separate, developing on their own areas, but make them an instrument of a special economic zone. On this slide, you can see these 3 areas, and there are 2 other areas which we consider. And this project of the special economical zone includes, on the federal level, there are also instruments when the federal center selects the major projects and makes them the responsibility of prime ministers of the areas. And as to the federal center, each region is trying to develop their own projects. But we are one country, and on the federal level, there are 12 macro territories identified. And Bashkortostan is part of a big Ural territory. And nowadays there is a plan developed for this territory, and the goal is not to unify the efforts, to unify what we already have and what trend exists already on the federal level, and what we can do for the region and for the investors, what interesting solutions we can offer them. And Bashkortostan is very interesting as to the touristic sites. We have many of them. The territories are interesting, but the most interesting places are located in the national reserves, in the national parks. And there we have a lot of limitations, legislative limitation. If we are looking at Beloretsky or Brusyansky Rayon, these areas, we need to also consider balancing the touristic flows, because this is also may cause overload of these reserves, overloading of these reserves. And setting up this economic zones, specialized economic zones, allows us building and developing the municipalities within the region. The Republic of Bashkortostan has an opportunity for round-the-year tourism development and a special zone for mountain skiing resorts, also allowed to implement this solution. And here we also have a problem that we lack the hotels. Well, there are some hotels, but to build the new ones within the national reserves is not possible. So we developed glampings. And another serious problem of our area is the transport accessibility. So our problem is to build new roads. We need to build around 400 kilometers of such roads, which will let us to unify the touristic sites and the areas, residential areas, which will allow developing the municipalities themselves. As to the investment projects, we're speaking about the Tiktau ski resorts, and we also were planning Muratkina, extension of this Muratkina resource. And there are some limitations that we cannot be simultaneously the residents of the special economic zone and of
Звучит масштабно, точно есть куда расти.
well, it sounds very scalable, and I think that you have places, you have areas to develop. And when you are working on the regional level, and it's very important to open your eyes and look around.
Хотела задать вопрос.
And I would like to ask our experts how, from the point of view of trends in the Horika area, ski resorts development, what are your evaluations? Your evaluations of this area of the Republic, where do they have to focus on? Rais Gabidov, perhaps we start with you.
С девушки. Ну, мы смелые всегда. Славгородская Екатерина.
Екатерина Славгородская. She is the head of Echo Hotel. And so how do you think, what are the tips and what are the tendencies that we have to consider when processing the federal applications? So good afternoon, dear colleagues. Greetings, everyone. And today I'm going to be speaking about the tendencies that we think will be developing in tourism industry and hospitality industry in our republic in years 2024-2025. So about hotels, our hotel Sunrise 4 stars, it is located near Banner Lake. It is a beautiful place. We're on the bank of a lake and both in a ski resort. So it gives us an opportunity to have our hotels full all year round. So we are winners of many contests, including Mountains of Russia. So the best resort hotel in the Republic of Bashkortostan and many others. So the first tendency is automation of customer base of loyalty. So our platform called UDS, it's a loyalty system. When a guest comes to a hotel and he doesn't need to fill in any applications, he uses a Telegram bot or a QR code. He is registered within 1 minute, and we have all the digital data about our guest. And in the future, it enables us to send them all the information about discounts, offers, so to stay in touch with our guests. So the guest receives 500 bonuses that he can use use, and cashback amounting to 5% from the cost of his lodging that he can also use. So it is convenient for the head of the hotel because the guests leave their ratings in our UDS portal, and the head sees the direct information about the personnel, about the guests. So we use KPI system when working with such guests. So this system enables us to switch from papers to digital systems. So our rooms have QR codes, and each guest can scan the QR code and receive all the information on the hotel, our services, to order the services, some good, and to pay for them right away. It is very convenient. For example, spa services, because we have a lot of guests, and the administrator does not have enough time for providing all the information about services. So the next tendency is artificial intelligence. So we keep up with the time. And for hotels, we have a system, ChatGPT, and we developed a new system called Hotel GPT. We use this system. We use it successfully. It does beautiful pictures, and it generates special offers to offer rates, to give feedback to the ratings. So I also encourage all of you to use this system too, because it is very convenient. Another tendency is car tourism. So we all know that prices for plane tickets has grown many folds. So there are more people that prefer to travel by car, and the tendency is expected to grow in the future years. So if the distance is about 400, 500 kilometers, so the guests will probably use cars, and we have all the infrastructures connected to it. And we also develop some tourism paths in the national region, because if people want to travel across the Republic of Bashkiria, they need this route with points in the map. So every day they can stop by each hotel and stay there and to know all the information about the hotels. The fifth tendency is eco-friendliness, and so we comply with the requirements of an environmentally friendly hotel. We collect the waste, and we divide the waste by categories. We transfer the waste to recycling facilities, to UFA, where plastic is recycled, into plastic benches. So these products, they don't need coloring, and they don't fade in color, so it is a very good idea. So we do not use aggressive utility chemistry. And last year we decided to launch a new project. It is called Gold of Bashkortostan, and we produce our own medications, vitamins, herbs, and we sell them by marketplaces, and we try to distribute them in other towns and cities. And people in Russia, they are interested in Bashkir products, so we move in this direction, and we try to promote Bashkir culture, Bashkir ethnic culture. And you see the logo, and you see that we use traditional Bashkir ornaments on it. So our traditional format of our restaurant is that we collaborate with farmers. We have our own greenhouses. We grow herbs, fruits. So at least in summertime, our restaurants have all the products from farmers. So another tendency is national marketing. We live in a time our guests are not satisfied with just bed and breakfast. The guests came to get impressed. So each hotel has to offer attraction point, something unique that will encourage people to go there. So people come there, receive some emotions. And so in other hotels, we have lightning in evening time, like it is traditionally done in New York. So when we're talking about human resources, it is quite a pressing problem nowadays. So we're working with colleges and universities. So our future employees, we try to meet them in the universities. And we try to encourage them to come to work for our hotels. So, and another tendency is collaborations with bloggers. It is a must-have nowadays. We have travel bloggers, we have mom bloggers, and lifestyle bloggers that go around, do pictures, post them, and encourage more people to visit these places. And the last point is how to attract more people when it is not season time. So between high seasons, we attract corporate clients. We conduct conferences, trainings, board sessions. So it is very convenient that people come to us and stay for about 3 days, and they conduct Honda's conferences. And also we conduct yoga tours and other activities. So thank you for your attention. I hope that this information will be useful for every one of you. And if you want to come in touch with me, you have all my contacts. So our next speaker is Раис Габитов.
Well, I will try to be short and interesting for you. I will tell you about the trends in promotion of travel industry based on our South Ural paths in the southern points of our territory, Yugana, Urat, and all our national parks and reserves are included. How do we do it and which technologies we employ? I will tell you. Well, artificial intelligence, yes, we use widely GPT chat, and in the last year we did some smart pictures which have collected quite a number of views, and perhaps you can guess what of our locations are presented here. Yes, right, you guessed it right. Abzakova. This is already the Chelyabinsk region. Taganai. And this is also something not Arkaim, looks like, but looks a little bit similar, but it's the Taganai Ridge. We have made also a virus video helped by a GPT chat, and now I want to you to put this video on. Battle of Bashkirians with dinosaurs. Well, draw a battle of Bashkirian with a dinosaur.
Нам не было видно, да? Но было весело. В общем, на самом деле...
Well, in fact, thank you. We have got many views, and
Завершился именно по...
but it became it got virus in the Bashkirian publics, and well, because we use here the mythology of Bashkirian ethnos. We did it with in collaboration with the huge, biggest producer of cardboard packaging, and they gave us their glasses. We sell them, and everyone who buys these cups, they support our path. It allows us. Well, it reminds about where Park company. They got the PR, and we get some money and knowledge of people. Well, we fame, so to say. We were first in Russia. These panoramas are made in the cities. Nobody does this in the mountains because there is no business. And I went through this path and made the first in Russia digital panorama of this touristic path, and I got over 1 million views. We got a lot of publications. Yandex is happy, and we are also happy with the wonderful collaboration first in Russia. And due to this, we have become the best project of the year. Got the award in Chelyabinsk, and thank you. This is it. Thank you very much. The fancy and humor is the key driver of any project, independently of the industry where it is implemented. Well, it's great, but without new technologies, without an artificial intellect, we are not able to implement our scale ambitions of today. And now I give the floor. Please, Evgeny, tell us about this big data. Just briefly, if possible, about big data and also about the internet technologies in travel industry. Well, this great thing, how the Bashkirians are fighting dinosaurs. Well, we need to understand also the financial opportunities and sustainability of our projects. If possible, please be quick. And good day, dear colleagues. Happy to tell you about the big data on this fanciful event in this type MLA.
Сбераналитика это на 100%
Matveev work for Sberanalytica. It's a daughter company of Sberbank, which is involved in study of the Russian market and regions based on the big data. As to the big data, I want to make a remark. We are not trading any information before we build the model, analytical model. We analyze all the data and aggregate them. Hello. A new speaker has arrived. Okay, we continue. All the data goes through a deep personalization and aggregate according to the focus subgroups. And then the analytics is built on the basis of transactional activity of millions of buyers and legal entities. Our products represent the cloud analytical platforms for representative of the federal and regional authorities and all the banking cards of physical persons will give us this information and the materials of acquiring. As to the travel industry, the main instrument in this field is tourism panel, one of our flagman products, which is developed specially for the development of this area. Panel tourism is the informational model which is developed beginning from the social and demographic portrait of a tourist and ending up with its financial behavior. Further on, we can discuss the general picture in the Russian Federation. We have prepared some analytical information for you. By the results of 2023, we can see a colossal growth of interest towards internal tourism in the Russian Federation, beginning from the COVID limitations, and it is also supported with the temporary limitations for traveling abroad. We can see 153 million of trips of our citizens, interregional trips. It has grown by 1/3, and by the results of the first part of this year, we can see already the growth of 38.5%, and it will reach the figure of 180 million visitors by the end of the year. Last year it has, well, it's the growing trend was in the last year, and by the results of this year, it will be over 2 million rubles. As well, we have evaluated financial and touristic flows, and we wanted to find out who is the average tourist in the Russian Federation. The average age is 45 years, with the average income of 75,000 rubles per month. Such a person makes about 2 trips a year with a general longevity of 5.6 days. And now we can see the increase of the number of trips and their growth by 1/4. There is an interest growing to visiting the neighboring regions. It's cheaper, it's more simple, but nevertheless, you can always see something new. The key consumers of the touristic product on the federal level, it's not a secret. We can see that over 40% of all touristic income comes from the tourists from the bigger cities, but nowadays the share of this kind of travelers has reduced by 2%. Speaking about Russia in general, and now an applicable part of my report will speak about the tourism on the big Ural. We have also prepared some brief analytics. In the year 2023, the touristic flow was 7.6 million trips here in the Urals, and the growth was 18%, which is a very high index of the touristic interest growing towards regional visits. Because before we saw around 30% growth, but it's taken into account the resorts. As to the monetary turnover, the growth was 92 million rubles, which is, spendings by cards, and the growth was 10%. The figure a little bit differs from touristic flow. And on the next slide, we'll see what it is related to. From the geography, we can see that about 40% of the travelers on the big Ural are the residents of the Ural Federal Okrug. They make some 40%. And 5 regions in the rating you can see here.
То есть, как я сказал раньше,
As I already mentioned, the interest grows to visiting the neighboring regions. The main task of the development of this region is around the year loading of all the facilities. You can see that most of the trips are made in the summer period, in spite of the fact that there are some mountain skiing resorts. Nevertheless, the main trips are made in summer. And the portrait of a tourist. We can see that the average age of the Ural traveler is 42 years, with an income of 80,000 rubles per month, which is higher than over the country, whole country. Then we can see the break up by genders, by ages, and actually it shows that everyone can see here something he likes. And we have also calculated on the most characteristic categories of spendings of the travelers, and we can see that here in the Urals, the most popular is gastronomic tourism. Thank you. That is it. I believe that it was interesting for you to get these figures by the number of telephones and by the number of people who were making pictures of your presentation. We believe that any statistic information, which also we use, and the official sources for national projects and programs, it is not always reflecting the objective picture. It sometimes is deviated by the methods of data collection, because very often we base on the second or third alternative sources of information. We now have the
экзамен. Так вот, о чем мы здесь говорили почти уже 1,5 часа.
Mrs. Gordienko, who represents the Ministry of Tourism of Bashkortostan. All the scale projects of touristic type, nearly all of them, or many of them, are realized, implemented with this instrument of the special economic zones. There are pluses and minuses. Those who are using it, they want to get more bonuses, insurances, etc., etc. There are different territories which are developed due to the mountain skiing. There are Arctic zones and so on. And the most important thing is the team which has to make this project successful. And in all this, we base ourselves on digitalization, artificial intellect, etc., etc. The level of the experts who have come here today and who have seen the resources, they are prepared with their initiatives to support these projects and take part in all this work together with you. Am I right, colleagues? Yes, maybe not in the conclusion, but nevertheless, I give the floor to you. Good day, dear colleagues. I am a minister only for 2 days, but I am the resident of Bashkortostan and I love my republic. And my mission on this place is to make the Republic flourishing, also including the tourism. We are speaking about tourism in different ways, but for many, many years. And coming back to the same point, the special economic zone is something we are interested in, and very soon I'm going to speak before the government. And I still cannot understand why we have not yet developed this zone here in the Urals. Maybe the colleague says, prompts me that, well, the legislation was changed, etc., etc. But nevertheless, we haven't done it. And the situation is different now, and I will be brief. You have already you have had a good discussion already here. Unfortunately, I was a little bit late. There is already some agreement on tourism with Uzbekistan and Chinese representatives. They are going to sign the contract with us. For me, it's very important that this business is interesting for our residents, and then it will develop. I'm not going to read my presentation. For me, as the former head of administration, the figures which I give you now in 3 years in Republic for traveling industry, 3 and point something billion rubles was spent for the travel industry, including the modules and subsidies, etc., etc. There will be more money, but we need to see the right places where we should place the glampings, what we should develop there. We need to discuss it more, and perhaps I'm only for 10 days a minister, and I'm not going to show myself. Well, I know that there are people who have spent their lives for the development, and I have to understand certain things. What problems I can see here? We are prepared to develop everything. Every place in our republic may become a special economic zone. We have plains, we have rivers. 7 rivers start here. 7 rivers is even, we need to apply our efforts here. So we are going to work, but all of us, we can see, we encounter these distances, and all these villages says, well, we do not need these tourists, etc., etc. Well, there are some things in the rural areas in our republic. People, residents in villages are a little bit resentful of this touristic flow. We need to work with the population. We need also to train our entrepreneurs. They start doing something. They built a very nice thing, but around it, there are many things which have to be done, have to be implemented and improved. And this has to be existing here within this territory. 5 national parks, 128 monuments of nature resorts, nature. It's another single region has these riches. Our sunny Bashkortostan. I was born here. I lived in some other areas, and 20 years ago I came back, and I'm going to do everything which depends on me to make Bashkortostan flourishing. Thank you.
So I would like to add, about 10 years. So you say that business have to come to this territory and attract more people, but it's not always happens that preferential tax modes are the key factors. The most important thing is trust to government, to the territory, to build partnership relations. So we all here wish you good luck. We wish you that those 10 days become many years and we work together for fruitful development of our Republic of Bashkortostan. So thank you. So if you can please stay with us, we have 2 more speakers. So we continue talking about a mechanism and tools that can be applied and we can work with. So talking about sharing international experience. So the Republic of Dagestan, National Bank of Dagestan, National Bank of Bashkortostan, they were talking about payment systems, about monies, where they spent, and new solutions in tourism industry. So our colleagues, Gusein Abdurrahmanovich, representing the National Bank. So you have the floor. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I hope you see and hear me well. So it's such a great event. I'm so pleased to attend this event, and I made some notes. So I'm here to tell about our experience. So tourism is one of the driving force in the Republic of Dagestan, driving force of economy. So before proceeding to the tourist map, we did some. So we collected some statistics, and so we have a large number of tourists coming to us. So over the last year, the number was more than 1.5 tourists. And when it comes to means of transport, so 50% use planes, 26% uses cars, and other use railway transport. So these factors, they all have an impact on the industry of the region. So we prepared this tourist map based on mere payment system. So the concept of the map implies that mere bank cards are connected. So we use this map to launch some beneficial programs for users of that bank cards. So in order to pay in cafes, restaurants, hotels, sightseeing, cultural events, and discounts in public transport. So talking about discounts, it is important to highlight that discounts are given by entrepreneurs at their own expense. So in order to be a member in this loyalty system, a user has to register their own card in the website visitdagestan.rf. You can please scan the QR code and register there. And you use this registered card in order to pay for your purchases, and you receive cashback on your card. So you can learn all the information on our website. So we're still working on our website in order to generate the most convenient configuration, the navigation across the website for the users. So you can get additional information about these programs through a mobile app or other means. So the system is financed by tourist objects that joined the program. So they don't have to change their own system of payment. And we made the decision together with our colleagues and partners, Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Digital Development, and we generated a mobile app for this website. So next slide, please. So we implemented the project in 2 stages. In 2022, we came up with this idea, and when we start discussing this project with representatives of executive officials, we received all this support, and we decided to implement this project, and we applied to the government. We said, let's launch this project, and decided to conduct preliminary events, and we divided the implementation of this project into 2 stages. The first stage was to define if people really need this map, the potential of its development, and to define the budget, because the first questions that come from the government when we came up with the idea is how much will it cost us? And so we have to consider all the budgets, and we have to define this aspect too. So together with the Ministry of Digital Development, Ministry of Tourism, we got their support and started implementing this project. At the first stage of the project, the Ministry of Tourism suggested to use the existing website that was financed from the budget of the Republic. On the website, we added a new tab, tourist map, and also installed an IP app so that the card users can register their cards on the website. And this app was integrated by the experts of the Ministry of Tourism together with Ministry of Digital Development. And together with our colleagues, we started conducting business meetings with representatives of enterprises, entrepreneurs, and they were worried about they would have to pay for this because they all have enough expenses to bear. So we suggested an alternative solution that we decided that our season would last, so this program would last all year round, not only in peak seasons, but also between peak seasons. For example, our second argument was that on their level, they would be responsible for advertisement on a federal level. Because entrepreneurs, when they advertise their product, they have to pay large amounts, and this way implied that advertisement was already on the federal level. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm forced to do it because we are pressed in time. So can you please continue for a couple of minutes? So the second stage. So we started the second stage. At the end of the year, we sent a letter to the government asking to support our project, and signed an agreement with this organization, and we completed the works on adjusting the website, and on August the 1st of the last year, the project was launched. And as for the May 1st, 2024, more than 6 million rubles was spent. So I think that this project was received well. It is popular. The first stage took 4 months, and the second stage also required 4 months to complete. Thank you very much for such a detailed presentation. And we have one more speaker representing the national park in the Republic of Bashkortostan. So I know that such projects are implemented in our republic. So we are far behind schedule, so please be brief. Good afternoon, dear participants of the forum. So this is just a summary of our project. So thank you for such a detailed description. Can we have the next slide, please? So in order to develop tourism in our republic, in order to attract more tourists to our region, so we use this experience of the Republic of Dagestan and introduced our own tourist map of the Republic of Bashkortostan. And the main aspect is that each resident of our republic, if they have their own bank card, Mir bank card registered on the website, they can receive cashbacks and other benefits from the payments that they made in the framework of their holiday, in the framework of traveling. And they can use all these platforms and Mir payment system. So the participants of this project, the advantage is that they can independently manage their own projects. And the advantages, so we support marketing and independent management of these projects. In order to attract more tourists in the Republic of Bashkortostan, we have cashback in time between peak seasons, cashback in particular hours or for purchases, amounts of which are more than a certain amount. So can we have proceed to the next slide? So, working together with the Ministry of Entrepreneurship and Tourism, we have to identify our mutual goals and to sign necessary agreements to define the range of cultural objects, of agricultural enterprises that provide all the services that associate the traveling of a person. In order to So speaking about agreements, we have already a draft of such an agreement, and it is, I hope it will be approved by the executive officials, and we will also discuss it in the economic forum that will take place in St. Petersburg in June of this year. So we also test all the services, all the apps together with organizations. If our project is successful and it goes into launching, so together with mass media, you will know about the launch of our project. So what is required from an organization if they're interested? So they have to apply as a candidate to participate in this project. They have to provide all the data about them, and they can test all the services together with the organization, and they can proceed to launch. So the registration is free of charge. It is not binding. It does not bind you to anything. You are not required to download all the information. You can choose the information you want to share. So, and after the registration, you can receive the cashbacks and other beneficial conditions. that are connected to our project. So this is the end of my presentation, and thank you very much for your attention.
Поднятые телефоны.
So yes, I saw that many people who are present here were making pictures. So we have one last speaker as we're talking about digitalization, Mr. Dmitry Polikov. He will be talking about digital solutions in our republic. So my name is Polikov. I represent the Rostelecom company. So usually in my presentations, I also talk about money, about increasing profits. But now we're talking about internal tourism in the Republic of Bashkortostan, because the first thing to do is to attract investors and to attract tourists, because tourists are very selective nowadays. They require much, because in our republic, our most selective tourist is the head of our republic, Mr. Radi Khabirov, because he likes when he has all the services available. So we prepared a range of solutions for tourist industry. Of course, I won't elaborate on each of them. So the recent of our inventions is digital hotel. It is up-to-date program because so when the sanctions was imposed, people had problems with downloading the app. It is not just an app for reserving a room. It is completely closed system that has all the CCTV cameras, all the Wi-Fi, all the information about payments. So this system is called Smart Hotel. So in a few words, two cases that we're working on today. So talking about national resources, parks. So the tourist can see the natural scenes, see the animals, and also monitor them in order to receive the information about how they eat, what they do, and so safe and comfortable park called Country Call. It unites 12 resort facilities with Wi-Fi and all the services available. And now we do the CCTV cameras on some popular traveling points, even if so that tourists can have access to internet, to Wi-Fi if they are far from appropriate facilities. So Звездный Health Resort, it is very far and hard to reach. So we laid 12 kilometers of optical line, and it's the most finished implementations of a project in our republic. Talking about glampings, it is an up-to-date topic because not all territories have all the facilities for building a hotel, and glampings in this situation is the answer. And I will be talking about monitoring of personnel in order to monitor how to so their satisfaction rates, how they communicate with guests, with tourists. So the advantages, of course, Rostelecom is the largest operator and very reliable partner, and we have a massive expertise in the sphere of digital solutions. So our project office, you can make a picture. Many of you have already been here, and you have all the QR codes and my contacts. So please, if you want further information on this topic, please contact me. So we'll do a brief summary, I can add that we talked about digital solutions in tourism that exist and that can be applied. So I suggest that this is the end of our session, and as I promised, we will conduct a roundtable discussions with our guests that are in first and second rows. So please introduce yourself and the person you address to, and please ask your questions. We will be happy to hear them. Good afternoon. It was very informative, productive session. I don't regret that I came here. So I'm into tourists from when I was a child. So I have one suggestion for your considering. And my suggestion is that, so I have one question. Let's start with the question. My name is Ildar Bigbaev. I am the deputy of plenipotentiary representative of the Republic of Bashkortostan in the Republic of Bashkortostan. And my question is that now I run a project, investment-wise hospitality of the Republic of Bashkortostan. In the framework of this project, I'm working with one of friendly country, and I offered them to build a ski resort in the territory of the Republic of Bashkortostan. So the country is interested in the project. So the question to you, I need technical and economical support. So technical plan and the budget and the construction. So thank you for your question. Who is brave enough to answer this question? So I think I will be the one to answer it. Of course, it is individual, and in each case, it depends on the cost of advisors. There are no limits. So who is ready to discuss this question? You have my mobile phone available on the internet. So I was once a member of parliament of the Russian Federation. So you can easily find my contacts, and please get in touch with me to discuss this question. So one of the driving force for development of the tourist is roads. So my parents have long lived in the Republic of Belarus. My father built plants there, and then he worked as an engineer and deputy, and I visited Belarus a lot of times and in Soviet time. But I still remember that a small rural settlement, 10 houses, the perfect road. The bus was right on point, on schedule. So I'm saying that roads are driving force for tourism. Today, large sums of money are allocated from both regional and federal budgets for developing the tourism industry. When we talk about roads, so we also react to the road problems when we receive complaints, letters from the tourists. So what is my offer? Maybe we need to come in sync when it comes to money allocated from both regional and federal budgets and synchronize them with the money that is allocated for tourism. And I need to know how it can be implemented in the issues of building roads in the framework of the national program. And so federal roads are mostly for those who's developing these national projects. So who builds the hotels, the glampings? They are likely to receive these benefits. And we also look closer to the development of tourism. So this process is active on the federal level. So we got our priorities straight and we're working on it. So I have another suggestion that we have roads of regional importance. And when we talk about attraction points, the synchronization at the regional level is very important. We're not talking just about state programs, but regions today have additional tools set aside state programs. So it's discounted loans and enables the regions to create the infrastructure both in tourism and in other spheres. On the one hand, we attract investors, and on the other hand, we have to say the terms for implementation of such projects. So the Republic of Bashkortostan have the second in Russia concentration of frauds, which is higher than in almost all other regions of Russia. So I think it is not a problem today. So just a minute. My name is Yelena. I represent agricultural associations. So we're talking about special economic zones. So who makes the decision to classify, to qualify a territory as a special economic zone? In terms of our republic. So a brief. Federal Law 116, the region gives an application to the Ministry of Development of the Russian Federation. An application, you go to an appropriate body, and if you get the approval in the regional level, the application goes to the Ministry of Economic Development of the Russian Federation, and then the decision is made on the federal level. Thank you for your question. Dear colleagues, one last question. So I strongly believe that feedback is crucial in every session. So in autumn, when we presented the special economic zones, we were talking about Uchalinsky district, and Mr. Habirov required that Uchalinsky district is qualified as a special economic zones. Please just give a brief comment. So Order 310 had 3 regions qualified as SEZs, and now we're discussing the prospect of Uchalinsky district and Baimaksky district to become also a special economic zone. So my name is Sagadev. I'm talking about restaurants. So Baimaksky, Uchalinsky districts, and we were talking about ski resorts. So as I understood it, that ski resorts are planned to be built in Uchalinsky and Baimaksky districts, or have I got this wrong? So ski resorts. Ski resorts will be built in those districts, but the special economic zones, it doesn't limit to ski resorts, because in Uchalinsky district has Iromel Mountain and other sightseeing places. In Baimaksky region district, in Baimaksky district, we talk about Gravskaya Lake. So each territory has their own advantages, their benefits, and the task of the special zones in order to unite them, to bring about the ties between them. So it is necessary to arrange the communication of the Republic with those who brought about the initiative. So we have to discuss these questions, and I hope you will attend another events to discuss them. And today's session is coming to an end finally. Yes, we are behind the schedule. So thank you for your attention, and this session is over. Thank you.